In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the current conditions. We're going to be taking a look at some tropical activity as well as some severe weather. Let's get straight into things though. And first things first, we're taking a look here at our current radar imagery. We're kind of back to our normal style of video. I did 2 tropical updates in a row. I wanted to give you guys around the nation, people in like Missouri and Kansas and North Dakota and Michigan, people that don't have any concern about tropical activity. I want to give you guys an update about what's going on around the nation. Really, everybody has a reason to watch this video, obviously, because there's things going on all around the nation. We see that if you're inside of this circle, there is some activity happening. So we have a horseshoe around the nation here of activity, and it's really connected up here, actually, in my opinion. And then if you're in this region, there isn't a whole lot at all going on. So those are the areas that are a little bit quieter this morning. Let's go ahead and zoom into the northwest real quickly. And as you can see, we do have some lighter to moderate showers going on here for the northwest. That's Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Nevada as well. We're seeing some greens all the way up through yellows going on in this region. So it's not too concerning, but there is just these lighter showers happening. And this is an area in weeks past where we've had very dry conditions. So it's good to see them getting a bit of precipitation in that region. Now, as we take a look further south here at our southwest region, we also have some showers going on down here. A little bit heavier in some spots, especially in Arizona there, where we do have some yellows and even up to oranges popping up and some reds. Potential thunderstorms happening there north of Phoenix. We'll zoom into that region real quickly. It's a little bit more concerning than surrounding regions. It's in between Phoenix and Flagstaff, kind of near Prescott. There's where it occurred. Definitely saw some heavier precipitation happening in this region. Potentially a thunderstorm or two. Cannot be ruled out that happened earlier today. Now, as we take a look at the south central United States, we see what looks more like thunderstorm activity down here as well, from New Mexico all the way through Texas, Oklahoma, into Arkansas, a bit of Missouri as well. Definitely some heavier activity happening for all of these different areas that have circled in here. Very, very interesting stuff there. Now, as we work our way up to the Ohio Valley, we can see that there's a continuation of this pocket. Definitely some thunderstorms through Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and even into Pennsylvania potentially as well. The further east you go there, the more and more it starts to look like showers, in my opinion. That's definitely one thing I would say. We see a lot more greens here on the eastern end, and we see a lot more oranges and reds there on the western end of things. We're just going to take it all the way up to this cold front, all the way up to the northeast here, where we do have some heavier showers and thunderstorms happening. Potentially, they've lightened up a lot though over the last few hours. Definitely was a lot heavier around 5, 6, 7 a.m. and now a lot lighter here as we approach the mid to late morning. Now, as we work our way down further south, we have this typical summertime tropical thunderstorms happening here through Florida, the rest of the southeast, and the deeper south here. We can't rule out that any of these coastlines see some of these at some points. These definitely happen, obviously, throughout the summertime. I've said this multiple times. And there will be some spots where these head on shore. Sudden downpours, lots of lightning, cannot be ruled out with these. Flooding is always a possibility with thunderstorms with this much moisture, as they usually have in these regions. So we'll watch out for that throughout the day today. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to go ahead and talk about the upcoming pattern. We'll break down the upcoming severe weather as well as that tropical cyclone that is developing there in the main development region offshore of Africa. So up and down the Rockies into the Four Corner States again here, we're seeing this activity. So a lot of the United States seeing activity by Thursday, August 11th. Now Friday, August 12th here, we see that the southeast and deeper south has some activity with those tropical thunderstorms and showers happening. The stormy area in the summertime, so it's not really a huge surprise here. We do see that for Minnesota there and through Iowa, we see a pocket of storms happening. Whether that's showers or thunderstorms remains to be something that we're going to have to just see. But we do have some heavier activity happening in there. And then for the Four Corner States up the Rockies, again, we have this activity occurring. Now for Saturday, and this will be August 13th, we see that for a lot of the east, we see things clear out. Finally, a quieter day. Outside of the deeper south, where you really cannot rule out thunderstorms any day in the summertime, it feels like. But for a lot of the east, we see things quiet down a lot compared to what they were like. We see the Four Corner States up through the Rockies, again, seeing a lot of activity up and down this region. And then a little bit of the northwest seeing some of that as well. Now for Sunday, the 14th here, again, a quieter day in the east outside of the deeper south. But we do see that up north here, going to be an odd shape, but we see that for a lot of these regions here, almost looks like a boomerang, We see Texas up through the Four Corner States, in through Wyoming, and then back through the Dakotas into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and even Michigan. We do have some spotty showers and thunderstorms occurring in there on Sunday the 14th. Now, Monday the 15th, we see a quieter day here. It looks like for the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, we're seeing a little bit more activity in here. Four Corner States and Rockies seeing some activity, and then again, the deeper south seeing some of this, but a lot quieter than things had been. Tuesday, the 16th, we see this activity kind of return to the east for the most part, especially the further north you go. It appears like there will be pretty persistent activity. Still some tropical thunderstorms happening down there. And then we see up here for the portions of the Four Corner States and Rockies, we see activity happening in there on Tuesday the 16th. Wednesday the 17th, again, it looks like this eastern region is seeing that activity pick back up by midweek next week. So again, Wednesday, August 17th, thunderstorms and showers are pretty widespread throughout this region. And then we see some activity in the Four Corner States and through the plains as well. Now for Thursday, the 18th, it really gets stormy here in the east. And what's interesting here is we have this storminess in here, which looks to me like warm, humid thunderstorms heading from south to north. But I also see the jet stream doing this. So my guess is that there's a cold front somewhere in here. So I'll draw that somewhere in here. There's a cold front, and that's going to be like a 1-2 punch. So I think this is what we're seeing. Take this with a grain of salt. It is hours like 2:40, but I think we're seeing some thunderstorms move out ahead of this cold front like this, with the warmer air rushing out ahead of it. But we're seeing this cold front come through, and then cooler air can be expected behind all of this activity. So it could be like a 1-2 punch. Regardless, though, we see a ton of storminess throughout all of these regions and a little bit of cooler air, it appears. Southwest and the Four Corner States has a bit of activity still going on by this point as well. Now for total precipitation through the next 10 days, here we are taking a look at it. If you're anywhere in the whites, we're expecting practically no precipitation. Your grays to be about 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your greens would be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues would be 1/2 an inch to an inch. Your yellows would be 1 inch to 2 inches. Your reds will be 2 to 5 inches. And then your browns will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation here in the United States. We see a lot of the reds there in the southeast and also the Four Corner States where we saw the most persistent activity, I would say. So it makes a lot of sense. Now, what we're going to do is move on, take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern. We'll dive into the severe weather and then that tropical cyclone at the end. Now, here's the day one temperature anomalies. We are a little bit cooler for a lot of the eastern United States, but not the mid-Atlantic and New England, southern New England states. We see a lot of warmth here, actually, for those areas, so it kind of curves around. We see a lot of warmth for the northwest, some cooler air for the southwest. It's really all over the place here on this day. Wednesday, the 10th, we see, again, a pocket of warmth here for sure through a lot of the Rockies. And then some cooler to neutral air here in the east for the most part. Let's see, day 3 here, which will be Thursday, August 11th here. We have a lot of heat through the northern plains up into western Canada as well. We see that the southwest is cooler. And then again, a lot of the eastern United States is cooler as well for these areas. Friday the 12th, we see a ton of cooler temperatures here in the eastern third of the nation. And then for the most part, a majority warmth here in the western 2/3. Saturday the 13th, we see that there is a lot of cooler air here. Again, still around for the east, so things are going to get cooler. I'm excited because I have just been, here in Virginia, it's been 90s, I think, for like a month straight. It's unheard of, honestly, in my opinion. We've gone back and forth between 80s and 90s for sure, but it has just been at least 90 to 95 degrees for what feels like since mid-June. Absolutely insane heat that we've had, and we're going to go back down to the mid to low 80s, which will be very, very nice, I will say. So a lot of cooler air, no surprise there. Sunday the 14th, we still have the cooler air in the east. I'm going to soak it up, like I said. Majority warmth here in the west, but we do see for the southwest there's a bit of cooler temperatures. But this is mostly due to the fact that there will be cloudiness and storminess, which is not the norm down there. So that blocks the sun, which causes things to be a little bit cooler. And that's why you're seeing cooler compared to normal. Now for Monday the 15th here, we still see some cooler air for the east, but it looks like it might be coming to the end as we see some heat really building in for the central United States. And there's still some for the west, so there's a lot of heat out there. We see Tuesday, we see a little bit of cooler air hanging on for dear life, but warmth for, I would say, 75% of the country, or maybe even 85%. We see here on Wednesday the 17th, we see a majority warmth here in the United States as a whole. For Wednesday 17th, we see some cooler air here for the Mid-Atlantic and also here for the southwest / Four Corner States. But again, that's due to precipitation. And then to close things out, we see a lot of neutral temperatures here for a lot of the east, especially the southeast there, and then kind of like the north central United States. As I think there's a cold front about to come through, like I mentioned, so things could get cooler in the east again, especially when we have this huge positive PNA out west. If you guys have watched me for a while, you know what I mean. But when the west coast and the west coast of Canada in general, usually the west coast of North America is what we would say, when it's warmer than normal, that's called a positive PNA, and it forces cold air to head around that area and force its way into the eastern United States, and that's probably what we're seeing at this point. That's why in a positive PNA, snow and cold lovers in the wintertime are they're itching for a positive PNA. It's one of the most important teleconnections, if not the most important in my opinion. So that's really interesting to see there. Now, what we're going to do is move on and take a look at the upcoming severe weather pattern. Now, there's not a whole lot to talk about in the severe weather department. For day one here on Tuesday, August 9th, today for the time I'm making this video, we do have a general thunderstorm risk here in the lighter greens. And that's, again, where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so heat every watch, warning, and advisory. Then we have the two darker green regions, one for the mid-Atlantic, and then one there for Oregon. That's the two areas where we have a marginal risk at severe weather. Now, for day two here, Wednesday, August 10th, we have another very large general thunderstorm risk area where you should still heed every watch, warning, and advisory because anything is possible, by the way. So if you're anywhere in the lighter greens, you expect general thunderstorms with the possibility that things are a little bit more intense than anticipated. We see the darker green region there for Virginia, D.C., Maryland, and even into Delaware. And that is where we have a marginal risk at severe weather, where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. And then finally, for day three here on Thursday, August 11th, we only have a general thunderstorm risk here popping up in the lighter green, where we expect general thunderstorms there. But I will say that oftentimes we see this get upgraded eventually to a marginal risk at least. That's at least how it's gone so far this summer. So don't be surprised if we see a darker green region for Thursday, August 11th by the time it's day one or day two. Now, what we're going to do is move on and take a look at the Atlantic 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. Here we are taking a look at things, and over the next 5 days, we have a 30% chance of development. It's gone down 10%, but the trajectory still seems more favorable than originally anticipated, I think. So this is going to be an interesting one to track. I would say it's a 50-50 shot, in my opinion, that we see really anything from this at any point, but definitely a 30% chance over the next 5 days, and over the next 48 hours, we have a 20% chance of development. So a little bit less, but there is also a slim chance that over the next 2 days, we do see development with this one. We're going to be tracking it daily, rest assured, and any more tropical cyclones, as there will surely be more throughout the hurricane season. We'll be tracking all of these daily and showing you guys them. So always be sure to subscribe, as we're going to be going over all these things daily. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6 for like the 90th day in a row. Nothing too particular, and even if this tropical cyclone was what I'm going based off of, I'm still not super confident in the tropical cyclone. So for that reason, we're at a 4 out of 6, which is very, very middle tier. For today's patron, I love the day. I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Leatherpan, Vandenbridgefield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I'd also like to thank our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Capite, Charles Tennant, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members: Capite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.